Hi guys, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back. For those who usually watch my videos and follow what I post, and so before we get into the business of the day, this is just a quick reminder to you guys to please like this video. You can even like it before you start watching, because I can assure you it's going to be a very interesting video. And subscribe to my channel, please. This is really important to me. Thank you so much as you do that. So today we'll be trying out this ruffled flounce or a mermaid dress. We call it so many other names, depends on what you know it by. It's exactly what is on the thumbnail, and I'm taking you the process of how I achieved this particular picture in the thumbnail. So for today's video, we'll be doing only the lower part of the dress from the nail downwards, and that's why I said is the ruffled flounce we'll be focusing on. I had earlier on made different videos on how I achieved the scrunchie headband that I wore on my head, and now I achieved the upper part of the dress. So the the entire dress is a convertible dress. You can make it short or a full flowing dress as you want. So I divided the video to be easier to watch and digest. I didn't want to make the video so long, so I had to divide it into 3 parts. Then you can go to my previous videos and watch the other videos I made on the illusion dress, the scrunchie headband, and the third one, which is this ruffled flounce. Thank you as you do that. So we're going right into this, starting with all the materials I got to achieve this. Here's my organza. I got 10 yards of it. Here it's a whole lot of 10 yards. So the number of yards you'd get depends on the volume you want on your dress. So for myself, I actually wanted a huge volume, but I couldn't exceed 10 yards. I mean, 10 yards was a whole lot of work for me already. And I have here my bridal satin, which will be at the base of the organza. It's very important to get same color for both fabrics, so it looks like it's all together. It doesn't give you contrasting colors here and there, except you want a really colorful or rainbow-like outcome, especially if it would be a kid's dress. I could not record the whole process while I was marking out and drawing out my circles on the main fabric itself. It was so big, my entire camera could not cover it, so I'll just be doing an illustration with this piece of paper, and it's exactly what I did on the fabric that I would be doing on the paper as well, for just a clear understanding of the entire thing. So first and foremost, I folded my paper just like how you'd fold your fabric to cut out a 360 flay. It's the same way, you fold it into 4, right? And then you show one side is opened and the other side is closed. So I would go right now and mark out, I used the 1 inch for the opening of the circle, so I marked it through from one end to the other, just like so. So I marked it out and I drew out a circle from one end to the other. Then secondly, I'll be going to the full length of my flounce. So basically this signifies the entire length I'll be measuring from the above nail down to the full length of my dress, possibly the floor. That's the measurement I'm signifying in this second circle I'm drawing. So you'd measure right from your above nail down to the full length of the dress, and after I marked it, I'm drawing a circle to connect the marks together, just like so. Then for the back of the dress, I want it to be a bit longer than the normal length, like I want it to flow at the back. So I would just draw another line and give it about 5 inches or so, or more than that, depending on how long you want the back to be. You can add from 5 inches to 10 inches as long as you want the train to be, as long as you want it to be. Just add as much inches as you want. So in one piece, I've marked out the front length and the back length, just like so. And that's exactly what I did on the fabric. So I went back to measuring my entire fabric and the circles I've drawn out. Then I'll be dividing this pattern by 2 lines. I'll draw out 2 lines, which will make it 3 different panels on one part of the folded pattern. Three panels each. So I'll just go ahead. I haven't marked out all the things I should mark out. I'll go ahead to cut it first from the beginning of the circle, just the smaller parts. I've cut that out. Then I'll go ahead to, just not to make a mistake, I'll cut out the back piece on all the fabrics together, holding the 4 fabrics together. I'll cut out the back piece just like so. Then since the fabric is folded together, I'll just leave behind what I wanted to be the back piece initially, just like as I opened it, and I'll hold from the middle, just the upper part, and go back to the original line I drew for my front piece and cut it out just like so. Yeah, cut it out neatly just like so. So I'm done cutting out my piece now. So in this one piece, I have both front and back of different lengths, just exactly how I want, and I've marked out three panels on each part, just like so. So I'll go ahead to cut out the panels for each of the sides, just like I did in this video. I'm cutting it out down to the end, the back as well, because both the front and the back will be divided into different panels, just like so. So after cutting it out, I would mark it the A for the front and the A for the back, which is the center of the front and center of the back as well. Then for the 2 other sides, I'll just cut it out and mark it as well, like so. So I still continued cutting them out and marking each panels. It's very important to mark out the panels so you don't mistakenly use the front for the back or use the center piece for the side piece. This is why it's important to mark it. Even on the fabric, you use your chalk and mark it out. The center for the front, center for the back, the side for the front, the side for the back, just like so. So I kept on marking and marking, so I would be sure of what I'm doing when it's time for me to assemble them together. I'm done marking now, so I just wanted to show you the illustration of what the flare would look like from the beginning, from the front, from the middle front. You'd see how the length kept on increasing and increasing, just like how we cut it. So I'm just arranging it properly for you to have an idea of what it would look like on the dress. So this is it. You can see the lengths are totally different. The front was the normal length, and as it kept on going towards the side and to the middle and to the center back, you can see the difference. The difference is really much. I think I made a mistake rearranging the last 2 panels, so I'll just correct that. Okay, corrected it already. Then you see the difference. Now I'm sure the difference is clear now. You can see the difference in the lengths. So this is exactly what it would look like on the fabric. For the front, it's going to be the normal length, and towards the back, it's just keep increasing and increasing. So that is it about cutting each panels. Then for each panel, in trying to fix our organza to the panel, we'll do it in this manner. This was exactly how I drew it on my bridal satin fabric. You just draw like a U shape around the fabric, and that is the line you would follow when you are sewing the organza to it. So I made three lines or three U lines, whichever way it's better described as, in the center front. For the side front, one of the sides of the front, I made it three lines as well, so to give it its full flounce effect. By the time I sew three pleated layers, not just three layers, three pleated layers of organza into these three lines I've sewed, you can imagine how full and big and beautiful it would come out already. So if you want it fuller, if you want the volume to be bigger and thicker than this, you can make as much as 5 U lines, you can make as much as 6, depending on how busy and how beautiful you want it to be. So for me, and with the yards of organza I got, I think the 3 will just do for me. So I just continued the same process, marking it out, drawing out the U lines and arranging it properly. So I'm sure I'm on point and I'm not making any mistake at all. So I think it's time to go back to our main fabric. So I'll just show you clips of what I did on the main fabric. So the first image that came up earlier was the center front. This is for one of the sides of the back, and this is for the sides of the back as well. This is for the middle. So here is one of the panel that I cut out. This is think okay, the back, this is for the back piece. Then I'll be drawing out a line. You can see this line I drew. Yes, all true. And the second one, I just drew it out to guide me on the particular places I would have to sew the fabric through. So this is one roll I would go through, a second one, then I'll sew it through at the end of the entire fabric. This is just for one panel, just for one panel. Here is my organza. I bought a whole lot of them, and I had to cut it into 10-inch each. I cut several of them into 10-inch, so I'll be working with 10 inches. The 10-inch I cut was 10-inch width by the full length of the fabric. So the full length of the fabric is 60 inches, so it was 10-inch by 60 inches all through. I cut the entire 10 yards of fabric of organza I bought into 10 inches by 60 inches each. So for some people who would want like a really full effect, it's important to add crinoline to one end of the organza. You sew it to it and then you turn it just like the exact way you add crinoline to the edge of your fabric. But for myself, I just did this dress for the purpose of my YouTube page and just to have some few pictures with it. So I wasn't ready to go that intense. So far, I got a clear picture or a clear idea of what I had. It was fine for me. So to get a really full effect, please, you need to be adding crinoline to the end of the organza. So you add crinoline to the end of one end of the organza, and you add and you sew the other end to the lines we had drawn out on the bridal satin. So you can see this line I drew. I'll be placing the organza fabric on the line. Yes, just like this. After placing it on it, I'll follow the line strictly because the organza fabric, as you know, is very transparent, so I can still see the line I drew through it. You can see the line here. So I'll just sew and I'll pleat it through while following the line. You can make the pleat very tiny, you can make it big, just anyhow you want it, but the pleat should be really much. Yes. So you can see I'm done with the first one, so I see it through. This is the first one. Then I would go over to the second line. You can see the second line. So I'll be placing my organza same way, facing this particular side, and I'll be sewing it through as well. After placing it on it, I'll follow the line strictly because the organza fabric, as you know, is very transparent, so I can still see the line I drew through it. You can see the line here. So I'll just sew and I'll pleat it through while following the line. You can make the pleat very tiny, you can make it big, just anyhow you want it, but the pleat should be really much. Yes. I would follow this process on each of the panels, and on each panels we have about 3 or 4 U lines. So this is the main work. This is where the crux of the work is. It's not easy. Just take your time, chill a bit, have some cold drinks, and get back to work. So for each of the panels, I had to do this over and over again. Pleating the organzas and sewing it through, following the line until I was able to finish up on the entire panels. I had 12 panels. You can have more or less depending on how full, how big, how busy you want your ruffled flounce to look like. But I had 12 panels and I had to do this for the 12 panels. Same way, I'll be sewing it through. You can see the line, so I'll be following this line strictly while pleating it at every point, just like this. You can see it doesn't really, the pleating doesn't need to be even. You can make it uneven, just either a pleating or gathers, whichever you prefer, whichever works for you. So far it's being gathered at some point and it makes it really full, so either a pleating or gathers, just like this. So I'll be sewing it through to the other end as well. This is one part, the middle part of the back piece. It's so big. And I'm done with it. I pleated and sewed it through, and this is one of the parts, I think, by the side. So I'll be joining this right sides facing each other by the side, and I'll join the third one to it too. Then I'll join everything together. This is the result of everything I was able to gather. You can see it's a whole lot. It's like a community's clothes put together. It's like a whole baby's closet. This is it. Please ignore the blurry video. So at some point I got to finish this in the middle of the night and I couldn't wait. I had to still do the video at that time, so there was no proper lighting and all of that. So for the other end of the organza fabric that is left out, it's important to give it a good finishing. So since I'm not adding a crinoline to it, I would be weaving the other part all through it, so to give it a good finishing. So this is what it looks like after I've joined all the pieces, all the panels together. You can see the circle in the middle, so we'll still retain the circle, and as that circle in the middle will be attaching to the lower part of the dress. If you want to see how I make the upper part of the dress, please go through my previous videos. It's there, how to make an illusion dress. It's right there on my channel. Please watch it so you can get a full idea of how I made the entire dress. Please, if you haven't, please like my video and subscribe to my channel. This is really important to me and important to my growth. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you can replicate this. So please, if you did replicate it, please don't forget to tag me on any of my social media and just so I can repost them and we can have further discussions on how to make more beautiful dresses or outfits, whichever it is you prefer. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your time. Thanks for liking this video and thanks for subscribing to my channel. I hope to have more of this and more of this often. I hope to see you in my other videos. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye.